Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Suburban Homesteader, Wyoming, Arizona. It's Thursday, so what are we going to make today with a vanilla bean? Each week I'm making a different recipe using a vanilla bean. Today, vanilla bean homemade ice cream. I love making homemade ice cream. And vanilla bean ice cream, I have to tell you, is way up there on my list. So let's go see how I did it. We're starting with a pot on the stove. It has water in it and a stainless steel bowl. You could also use a tempered glass bowl. Now to that, we are going to add 2 cups of milk and 2 cups of heavy cream. Now we will have a total of 2 quarts of heavy cream, but only 2 cups right now. So here we're going to pour in the heavy cream and we will just mix that together. Now I have the stove on about medium high, which would on my stove is about 7. I'm going to add 2 vanilla beans. I'm actually going to split them and scrape out the seeds so that goes right into our milk and cream recipe. So I'm just opening it up, and then I can take that knife and I can just scrape that in there. And we're going to have a total of 2 vanilla beans with this recipe. I'm going to mix it up. Now you can see I threw the vanilla beans in there too, and they are going to stay in there for a while, but not the entire time. So the idea is I want this to heat up so that the milk and cream mixture is hot, but not boiling and not simmering even. And you can see the vanilla beans in there, you can see the little seeds. Now in a separate bowl, I'm going to have 4 large eggs. To that, I'm going to add 1 1/2 cups of sugar. Now I'm going to whisk those eggs. I don't want them frothy. I just want them incorporated together a little bit. And as soon as that happens, then I can add the sugar to it. And we'll start mixing that up. It'll be very thick, but just use your whisk and it will incorporate itself into it. Then I'm going to take 1/2 cup of sweetened condensed milk. Now sweetened condensed milk is very thick. And make sure you don't make the mistake of using evaporated milk. You want sweetened condensed milk. Now if your can of milk sits on your shelf for a long time, instead of being this kind of golden milky color, it will be darker, but it's still fine. We're going to add a little bit of salt and we are going to mix it up. Now my mixture of milk is hot, so I'm taking about 1/2 cup. I'm starting to whisk my egg mixture and I'm slowly adding that in. The reason I'm doing that is because I want the temperature of the egg mixture to increase, and you have to keep mixing it because you do not want the eggs to cook. You just want them to slowly rise in temperature. So it's just a gentle stir. You can use a wooden spoon. I like to use a whisk, and it works really well. And so as soon as I have that all incorporated, I'm going to take it over to my stove where the rest of the milk mixture is already heated up. Now we're going to slowly add our egg mixture into it, and you can see that the milk in the big pot is very warm. It's not at all boiling, but we're going to slowly add that in, mixing it continuously so that our egg mixture does not cook. It's just mixing. Because we don't want lumps of eggs in our ice cream. That would be horrible. Now, you can see it's all mixed in. The idea is to now cook it for about 5 minutes. And I always like to check to make sure I still have enough water in there. And I'm going to continually stir that for 5 minutes. Now, at the 5-minute point, I put a spoon in there. And if the mixture coats the spoon, I'm okay. So I took it off the burner, and this mixture has to cool. So I'm going to leave it on the counter for about 10 minutes first, and then I'm going to take some plastic wrap and I'm going to cover the bowl with the plastic wrap. Though I am going to let some little vents on each side be open so that some of the steam will go out, and I'm going to put that in my refrigerator until it cools down. Depending on your refrigerator, it may take an hour or 2 hours. Okay, so after 2 hours, I'm taking my vanilla beans out. And the reason why I take the vanilla beans out now is because we are making the homemade ice cream in a churn. If you were just making it and sliding it in your freezer, you wouldn't have to do that. But I don't want it to break up when it's getting churned. So it looks very beautiful. It has become somewhat thicker. I'm going to pour it into the canister of the ice cream maker. And this is when we're going to add the rest of that heavy cream. Because we use 2 cups of it, but we have a total of 2 quarts of heavy cream. And so we're going to just take the rest of our heavy cream, I have it in 2 containers, and we will just pour it in there. Because we want a total of 2 quarts. Right now we're putting in 1.5 quarts of heavy cream. Now it should fill it up to about 3/4 of your ice cream canister. That's what you want to do. Some of them will have a fill line, and so that you know that you don't want to go past that. I'm also going to put in 2 teaspoons of homemade vanilla. So I'm just going to drop those in and I'm going to mix that up. Now the reason why you have it only about 3/4 of the way full is because as it gets colder, it's going to expand and it has to have room so it's not going to leak out while it's making your ice cream. And so after I have that all stirred, I'm going to put the canister all together. We're going to slide that lid on, and then I'm going to turn the lid until it locks. Where it won't go any farther. You can see how you can adjust it and it just doesn't go any farther. That's what you want. Now we have our ice cream maker and we have salt, rock salt. And this is what you use on the ice around your canister. At the end of the year, you can get it half off. I got this for $2 where it's usually $4. It was a great deal. So I put my ice cream maker in my sink. And then I'm going to set the canister. And in this one, it has a little button on the bottom that the canister sits into, so you know it's in the right position. And I'm just going to make sure my lid is on good, and then we're going to put the motor on. You just take it and you slide it through one side. And then you're going to adjust it so that it fits right into the center there. And then it pops right in there. And on mine, it has a lock on this opposite side. And so I'm just going to do that lock so it stays in place. I have it plugged in. Mine is an on-off. And then we have to fill it with ice. So I'm going to fill it 1/3 of the way with ice. And then I'm going to use some of that rock salt. You have to use a lot of rock salt. So with each level that I do, I'm actually going to put about 1.5 cups of rock salt. So I get it all the way to the top. I've turned it on. If you have any trouble with it not wanting to rotate, you may put a little bit of water on the ice and that should help it. But you can see I'm putting the rest of my salt on there. And it will churn, depending on your ice cream maker, anywhere from 20 minutes to 30 to 45 minutes. It just depends on your ice cream maker. My one down in Arizona takes longer than this one does. This one takes only about 20-25 minutes and it will be thick enough that it won't churn anymore. And when your machine stops, you make sure you turn it on off, you unplug it, and you take it apart. Make sure there's nothing on your lids because you don't want any salty water on there. And then you can start taking your ice cream out. Homemade ice cream. And I'm so excited to have Joe try this. Make sure you have a bowl next to you so you can take your churn out of there. If you have kids, they will love eating this right off of there. So I'm just going to tap it so I can get as much as possible to stay in my canister. And then I'm going to start scooping it out. Now I am going to have Joe try this because he is my official taste tester. And I'm just totally excited about homemade vanilla ice cream. So I have to have a little spoon and try some. So good. If you have any containers that you brought food home from a restaurant, they're perfect for ice cream. So Joe's going to try the vanilla bean ice cream. So Joe, have a try.
Looks good, baby.
Now it just came out of the ice cream maker, so it's really soft. We'll put a whole bunch in the freezer, and by tomorrow it'll even taste more vanilla-y.
That's good. It's real good.
Now that is a fun recipe. I love using the ice cream maker. I love everything about making ice cream. Now the reason I like vanilla and vanilla bean ice cream the best probably is because you can put so many toppings on top. And it's very old-fashioned. The texture is different than when you buy it in the store. Even after it's been in the freezer and it really gets a lot more solid, it is a different texture, and I just love that. Now last week we made coffee creamer, and I did tell you that I would let you know on how the flavors blended as they sat there. There was 3 different ones he tried, and the one that wasn't heated on the stove, he didn't like at all. But after it sat in the refrigerator for a few days, those flavors started melding together, and the aroma was really, really nice. If I liked coffee, I would have even drank it. But I don't drink coffee. But I hope you like, subscribe, share with the world. Click the notification button, because every Thursday we're doing a different recipe with a vanilla bean. And I got a lot of different suggestions from viewers and subscribers, so thanks so much for that. Next week, we're making berry vanilla cheesecake. I hope you tune in, and I will see you next time.